This is not fiction, it is science. Unchecked, climate change will pose unacceptable risks to our security, our economies, and our planet. This much we know. The question then before us is no longer the nature of the challenge. The question is our capacity to meet it.
For years now, climatologists and environmentalists have been warning us about the dire consequences of global warming and its potential effects on the Earth. Overwhelming evidence indicates that the steady rise in the Earth's average temperature is caused by an increase in the amount of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. While some greenhouse gases occur naturally, human activity is a main cause for this steady increase. Historically, carbon dioxide emissions remained at low levels. However, since the Industrial Revolution, the amount of carbon in the atmosphere has steadily increased. Over the last 25 years, the rate of emissions has increased astronomically. Due to the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, the global temperature is rising with potential catastrophic results. Without immediate and drastic changes, we are facing a temperature increase of nearly 7 degrees Celsius over the next 90 years. Few products are more sensitive to changes in the temperature than wine, and global warming is already reshaping the industry. The quality and type of wine that can be produced is dependent on the climate of the region in which the grapes are grown, and even slight changes can impact the quality of the wine. Each variety of wine grape has a peak performance temperature at which higher quality and more consistent vintages are grown. The warming that has recently occurred has placed many wine-growing regions within or near this ideal growing temperature, resulting in surprisingly quality vintages. Heat produces grapes with bolder flavors, more sugar, and wine with more alcohol. However, at the current rate of temperature increase, many of the classical wine-growing regions will pass their peak performance benchmark, resulting in lesser wines, if not the outright infeasibility of growing the traditional grape varieties. Global warming is threatening the proud wine-growing traditions of Spain and France. Once the peak has been passed and temperatures are too high for optimal growth, the wines will become flabby and overly alcoholic, resulting in the unthinkable, watered-down wines. According to a recent study from Stanford University, about 2 degrees of warming could reduce California's premium wine-growing land by 30 to 50%. That could happen as soon as 2040. Classic wine-growing regions will also suffer from climate change due to the increased likelihood of droughts and the northward migration of predatory insects that originally could not survive in the cooler climates. While these effects aren't uniform across the board, many wineries will feel the impact of global warming and climate change. Miguel Torres, Spain's largest winemaker, expresses his willingness to adapt to the challenges of climate change.
It may be that in 30, 40 years, this place here, this vineyard becomes too hot to work for the Merlot. So then what we have to do, and we may do this in the next years, to move Merlot slowly to the mountain area. Mountain area, why? Because with the altitude, you have cooler climates. We have to fight climate change. We have to try to persuade people to change, but on the other side, we, in the viticulture, we are going to adapt.
Winemakers have a number of tools available in the fight against climate change, such as increasing irrigation, harvesting the grapes earlier, and changing the varieties that they grow. If unsuccessful, winemakers may have to move vineyards to cooler climates. This means that one day, English and Northern European varieties of wine will increase in quality and quantity, where the traditional standbys will go up in flames.
Some areas may not be able to grow fine wine grapes. Some areas may still be able to grow wine grapes, but you have to completely replant and rethink how they do things, literally from the ground up.
must reduce our greenhouse gas emissions.